Job hunting at the best of times can be a challenge, but throw a pandemic into the mix and you've really got to get creative. So Sarah's here to help navigate the challenge, and I love that you're here to talk to us about this, Sarah, because it is a tough time for people who are out of work right now. What have your clients been telling you?
They're frustrated. I think anyone who's looking for work right now is understandably a little frustrated. A lot of industries have been hard hit by the pandemic, so they've either had layoffs or maybe they're doing less hiring. So, what people are saying to me is they're frustrated because they're finding that their usual methods for looking for work aren't really working. Like even the all stars who have never really had a problem finding work before, like people who get snapped up by recruiters and have had no issues with job mobility before, are finding that things are much tougher for even them. So if anyone at home is in that boat, definitely know that you're not alone.
There is some comfort in that, right? So you've been test driving a slightly different approach with your clients. Do tell.
The first one is what I call the friends and family social post. And this is a great unconventional technique for job networking if you are currently out of work. And you'll understand why it's only for that group in a second. This is where you basically go onto non-work social media platforms, like I would say Facebook and Instagram are probably the best ones, just to share with people that you're looking for work. And a lot of people don't do that because sometimes people have shame around looking for work. But so many people are looking right now. You definitely don't need to have shame around it. And what you do is you basically just post on social media like, hey guys, you might not know this, but I'm currently looking for work. Here's what I did in my last job. And then you say a little bit about that. Then you say, here's the kind of thing I'm looking for. Here's what some of my colleagues in the past have said about me. If there's anyone you would love to tag or introduce me to, or if you would love to share this post, I would really appreciate that. There's a few things you have to remember if you do this. You want to make the post public so that they can tag people in and that they can share it. And you want to make sure that you include some sort of like warm, professional-ish photo with that. And I actually have a client who, in less than 24 hours, and it was on Facebook specifically, she got, I think, 8 introductions to people, and she had about 20 shares. So this works.
Wow. Okay, that is an interesting thing to do, and it does involve getting over yourself a little bit, which is a really good point to point out there, Sarah. Now, you have another tip for people who might be sneakily looking for work, even if they have work now.
So that first technique obviously won't apply if you're currently working somewhere, because it's not exactly a good look if your boss like happens to find that you've posted something on Facebook or a platform saying that you're looking for work. So you got to be a little more sneaky about it. So I like to tell my clients to use what I call the fan letter approach. And this is great for people who are like hoping to get a new job but are frustrated because the places they would like to work, they're finding that they're not hiring. And so for these people, basically all you do is you don't have to wait for a posting. Go ahead and introduce yourself over email to the person you think would be the hiring manager for the kind of job that you want. And so basically that looks like just shooting an email saying, hey, hi, I know you're not hiring, but I'd love to quickly just introduce myself. Here's where I work now. Here's what I'd love to do for your company. No pressure. I know you're not hiring right now, but I would love to send my resume to HR just so you guys have it on file in case something opens up. And then, of course, you wait and see if you get a reply. Sometimes you won't. That's fine. Wait and see if you get a reply. Try and have like a friendly rapport with the person who replies. And then in the next day or two, do follow up with HR and copy the person you originally emailed saying, hey, I mentioned to so-and-so I was going to forward my resume in case something opens up on this team. Here it is. Hope you have a great day. Would be happy to hear from you anytime. And it's a sneaky thing to do, and it works really well because then the members of the HR team sort of feel like you've already established a rapport with the hiring manager, so they're likely to actually pay attention to it versus just a cold email directly to HR without emailing the manager first.
Okay, very interesting. And maybe don't do that unless you've heard back from the manager, right? Because you don't want the manager feel like they're being
Yeah.
manipulated, right? Yeah.
Also important, and this is for both of them, you got to keep it short. You got to keep it concise. The shorter and more concise it is, the more likely that people will actually read through to finish.
You always have the best tips. Thank you, Sarah. Really fascinating stuff and great sort of unconventional tips. I love them.